Hello, and welcome to the Intel Brief. Today is Friday, 9 May. I'm your host, Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about the new Pope, Robert Prevost, Trump announcing a US-UK trade deal, and the AfD party's extremist label has been suspended. So firstly, the Catholic Church has elected a new leader, Robert Francis Prevost, as the new Pope, named Leo XIV. He's the first Pope from the United States and also holds Peruvian citizenship. This election was seen as a sensation, even though Robert Prevost's name had been dropped time and time again as a possible successor to the late Pope Francis. This is the first time a candidate from the United States has been elected as the head of the Catholic Church. During times of US President Donald Trump's American First policy, an all-American Pope with the US and Peruvian citizenship is now assuming the position, something supporters see as a great strength. Prevost, who is 69, chose the name Leo XIV over 100 years after the last pontiff to take this name. He originally hails from Chicago and was born in September 1955. Following his schooling and first degree university certificate and then ordination as a priest in 1982, he left the US and never really returned home for an extended period of time. Prevost studied and completed his doctorate in Rome. So what? Prevost is seen as a bit of a centrist, so I think that's pretty positive. So a bit of continuity and more of the same from the Catholic Church, some stability they're probably looking for. Also, he is American, so Trump is going to be a big fan of that, right? It could also bring the US, European relations together for the Catholic Church, something they may have also been looking for. All in all, I think it's likely this is pretty positive. He seems like a pretty down-to-earth central figure, so I don't know, more of the same. Always good. And next, US President Donald Trump announced what he called a breakthrough trade deal with the United Kingdom on Thursday. Trump said that the final details were still being agreed, but it was all in hand. The actual deal is a very conclusive one, we think. Just about everything has been approved, he said in the Oval Office. Earlier Thursday, Trump had posted on social media that the agreement would cement the relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom for many years to come. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer also said on Thursday that it's a really fantastic and historic day, as he appeared on a joint video link with Trump to simultaneously announce the trade deal. Since taking office earlier this year, the Trump administration had caused a bit of chaos with expanding their tariff policy. In April, Trump announced a broad tariff strategy against almost every country, and this particularly focused on China, where he's levied 145% tariff. So what? While this is just the first trade deal for the US, it does kind of show you the level of relationship that Trump looks for when it comes to the UK. This is pretty reciprocal because the UK has left the EU, so they need friends, they need trade deals, so this is pretty big for them as well. I'd say it's probably pretty one-sided with the UK importing more than it exports. The main thing the UK provides is financial services out of London, so Trump's probably a big fan of that. And yeah, it also likely brings a bit of stability to the market, as this is like the first step back in the right direction for the Trump administration. So it could be seen quite well from the markets. And lastly, the German Federal Agency for the Protection of the Constitution, or BFV, has temporarily lifted the label of the AfD as a right-wing extremist organisation, pending an appeal by the party. The BFV announced the extremist classification last week, paving the way for the far-right party to be surveilled by the domestic intelligence services. The party immediately responded by saying it would challenge the decision in court. The BFV has said they will not publicly refer to the AfD as a confirmed right-wing extremist movement until a Cologne court rules on a bid by the AfD for an injunction against the use of the term. The measure associated with the classification will also be suspended, Reuters reported, citing a court spokesperson. The BFV classification had meant that the party could be surveilled much more easily. The decision made by the BFV means that it can avoid a potential court ruling prohibiting it from using the term as an extremist label while the AfD injunction bid is litigated in the Cologne courts. This is likely to avoid giving the AfD politicians the opportunity to say they had forced the agency to retract the classification had such a ruling come from the court. So what? My assessment is basically similar to what I said when this ruling first came out. If any government, not just in Germany or in Europe, if any government is going to take a large stance against a pretty popular political movement, then you need to front up with the information pretty quickly. As an example, in this situation, they should make public an unclassified intelligence document that is clear in their how they reach this decision and what factors have gone into it. But it should be, you can remove all the sources and collection methods, etc., so that it doesn't ruin anything. But there needs to be a clear understanding of how they've reached this and why they've reached this decision. Otherwise, it's just used as a tool to try and discredit the government, in my opinion. Thank you for listening to the Intel Brief. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you next time.